Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We went live just a little early tonight. Uh, I'll show this again later on. Hope you're doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a nice fall day today. And we've kind of been busy today, haven't we? A little bit. Well, you took a nap, so you're doing better. You did pretty good with that. I've been busy all day. But I loved the weather tonight. The weather today was so good. My sister, Sissy, did you text me, call me, or what? I see it on my phone. Hello, Linda Langdon.
Miss Linda, Mr. Kessler, I need to talk to you. But everything good.
Hey, Pastor Norman.
Pastor Norman.
Kathy. John Greaser.
Oh,
Brother
Greasy.
Kay. And there's Linda Langdon. And those others who may come in later. I know it's trick or treat night, but we've got our lights off and our blinds closed, and the doorbell might ring. I'm hoping it won't, because baby girl will bark if it does. And so I just want you to know that before we get started. And sister, tell me why you sent me a message on my phone. Oh, she's looking. I see it. It's a picture of Shelley dressed up. What's she dressed up as? What is that? She's got on. I wish I could show it to everybody. She's
that's
got
her in that suit. Who they on? That's her on the left, isn't it?
That's her, yeah, with the orange socks, and red shoes. Oh, that's so cute. Let's see if they can see it. I don't know if they can or not. Let's see. That's our niece, my niece, dressed up with somebody who's dressed up as a witch. So happy hallowed evening, everybody. That's cute. Yeah, I understand now, sister. I didn't open it because I didn't know it was too close to time to getting started, so I didn't do it. That's a cute picture. Hello, Dee Dee and George.
Dr. George, Dion.
Listen, I got a video I want to show you. It's short. It's about 10 to 12 minutes. But it's Larry Reed, who is talking about Carlton Pearson making his transition. And I thought, Pastor and I listened to it, and I thought it would be good for you guys to hear. And we're not endorsing Larry Reed or anybody else. We're simply presenting it to you because it is the words that he spoke were so important, significant for us right now, especially those of us who've been in the Christian religion. And for those who don't know Larry Reed, he is a minister who's a virtual pastor, very open millennial, not traditional at all. So I don't want you to get bent out of shape if you're expecting him to act like a preacher. He may not act like a preacher, but his words are very, very significant. And Pastor and I felt like it would be good to hear it because Carlton Pearson is making his transition, isn't he, honey? Yeah, right in the middle of his transition. For those of you who don't know who Carlton Pearson is, he is a general in the Christian religion. And he started out in the Pentecostal movement as a preacher, and he went through all of the ranks, attended ORU, worked for Oral Roberts, and also did some things with Catherine Kuhlman, has touched many, many, many lives. And he had a church that was very large and vibrant, and he had an awakening experience.
And he being a general, lived to see a lot of generals cross over that was like him. And he's a historian in the area of the church,
very well
church
versed,
world.
Very well versed.
And I've had a chance to
we've talked to him on the phone. And knew someone who was very close to him on the staff. And we knew that person. We followed him because he came out with God is Not a Christian, that book that says God is Not a Christian. He was one of the first Pentecostal ministers to bring out that hell is not real, and actually took us on into full awakening and no judgment. And a lot of pastors and ministers are bashing him even now.
Now, yeah.
Because when he had his awakening, he dropped all judgments,
Yeah.
and began to embrace the LGBT community, which embraced him when the church blackballed him.
Yeah.
So he has been a general,
and even to this day, they still blackballing.
Even to this day, while he's transitioning,
yeah,
they're still blackballing him. But I wanted to mention this. I wanted to show this to you because I was saying to my husband on yesterday that in his senior years, he is now 75, getting ready to be 76 in just a few weeks. A lot of people don't realize when a person has is a seasoned voice in a particular region, that voice changes climates. It's not just a preacher, not just a pastor, but has a message, my husband has a message that has literally changed the climate of this region. Did everybody accept it? No. Did a lot of people accept it? Yes. And it is still that voice, his voice is still moving and ringing in this region now. And he is considered a general. And this general eventually will be transitioning sometime. I'm praying not anytime soon, but he will be transitioning. And then that voice will not be here except on recordings.
Yeah.
It is important that we recognize the generals. And there are other men who have been generals. And it is important that we recognize those generals and not take their voice or their message lightly. And I say this not as a wife, but as one who has also been a student under this man. And so you'll hear me a lot of times say, I remember when you preached that message. I remember when you said, because I learned along with the rest of you as he was teaching and as he was ministering. So I wanted to play this 12-minute video, and then we'll talk a little bit afterwards. And I want you to just sit tight and let me know if you can't hear it or see it. I'm hoping that you will. I'm going to go ahead and start to play it now.
About he is leaving behind, what he's leaving undone and incomplete. As far as the role that he plays in getting us to think about what we believe and to be better in providing insight, clarity as relates to what we believe. I think his part is complete. However, the work is not complete. It's not over. And I just wonder how many of us will complete our part in the whole of what must be done, not just in the particular industry that your gift got you stationed at and working, but as it relates to the world. I look at all of these postings that are popping up on TikTok and IG and YouTube of another reformer, Reverend Ike, and how he was demonized and his work and his doctrine, and now he's being praised. It was prophesied to me that what I do, what I teach, and that I would never receive the recognition that's proper, that somebody else echoing me will be the recognition that I receive. If I'm receiving that as a word from the Lord, it sort of does look like the pattern of everybody that is great. You always have your audience who is going to invest in, be great brand advocates for what it is that you're doing in your lifetime. You're going to have the support and everything you need in order to accomplish it. But a greater reality may be that your greatest impact may be after you close your eyes. If that's the case, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. My other concern around Carlton that I have, that actually Carlton situation is sparking, is me and what I'm doing and what I got to do, and how I thought prior to now I've always been very intentional, worked on purpose, and doing everything that I do for a specific reason, looking at the long haul, not the short term. But this makes me become, it sparked the concern of how intentional am I. So I'm actually becoming more intentional in what I say, what I post, those I converse with, those that I share my time with, because we're he's only 71, I think. That's really not a long time, and it's really not old. It's really not. I'm 45. What's that, like 25 years? That's not, it took me 20 something years to get to where I'm at. And in some instances, it took all of the 45. So that's really not a long time. But I think we should all look at what we are doing and our why, as well as our how. Our how could actually be working up our timeline a little bit. And really focus on that. Another thing, because my mom also has a cancer diagnosis. Thanks be to God, it's only stage 2, and she's already responding to one lump just disappeared after one chemo treatment. So she's doing well, and she's about to be 70 this year. Well, in the next year. She's 69 now. We not here always. We ain't. We not here always. So I think once you look in the eyeball of death, which I started doing about a year and some change ago, it really caused me to start living. I think we maybe should think about death more in light of it inspiring us to live on purpose. I thought about how I've been so work consumed that I'm really not enjoying my life, but I've started to change that over the last year and a half. And I hope that you guys will do the very same thing. And if you see online where anybody is disrespectful to those that have blazed the trail, am I saying the trailblazers are perfect? No, I'm not perfect. I'm a trailblazer. You're not perfect, and you're a trailblazer. But when you see them disrespecting Bishop Carlton Pearson and Reverend Ike and some of our other great black cultural reformers, don't let that ride. Just like y'all fight down there for Beyonce and Obama and these folk you do not know, and maybe not even impacted you spiritually. Maybe I need for you to fight and go all the way left, go totally off when they're disrespectful to Reverend Ike, particularly Bishop Carlton Pearson, because I saw that in my chat. I deleted those people, and I prayed a special little prayer for those people that were coming in my chat and talking sideways and off about a man who is transitioning out of this experience. I'm like, you think this is the time? You know what somebody told me, and I have to be careful because I know this inside information. But do you know that some people have been making an argument that it's very important because of Bishop Carlton Pearson's doctrine that they go to his bedside and ask him to accept Jesus as his Lord and Savior. I just hope that it slips out of somebody's mouth, that person and what they said. Because when they do, you're going to know that it's public because I'm coming up here and I'm going to go line by line. People are horribly disrespectful. Let me say this. Bishop Carlton Pearson never, ever denied Jesus Christ. So why would you make a statement remotely similar to he needs to accept Jesus as his personal Lord and Savior? Just because he don't believe in hell? Because he put his arms around the LGBTQAI plus community and embraced Bishop Yvette Flunder and her wife, who we all love and should embrace because they gave us thank you, Lord, for, that's Yvette Flunder, and oh, happy day, that's her wife. Yes, you should respect them and put your arms around them with no judgment. I don't know why Christianity is so mean. I surely don't believe in hell. Hey, how you know I'm becoming Dr. Vanessa? Yeah, I mean, but why does that even matter? I mean, I don't know why it matters that much. We make these doctrinal things more important than humanity. And the true measure of our spirituality is how we engage as humans. Let me repeat. The true measure of our spirituality is how we engage within and surrounding humanity, ours and others. I don't care what you're saying and how powerful you are, and what you're able to do with your gifts. If I inspect your humanity and how you sit with your humanity and how you engage and interact with others, and I see moves that Jesus wouldn't do. I mean, your faith, your religion, your practice means nothing at that point. I believe if we're going to have a religion, now I still say that I'm a Christian because it's my calling. I'm born for the word reform. So it's my calling to reform some things. So I won't deny the church and deny Christianity. However, I will say this, that I understand why people do not want their brand or their name or their work associated with the ancient organized religious institution called the Christian church and its Christianity. I get it. Because of this kind of stuff that be going on IG, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. It's really embarrassing. All right, I'm gonna make this statement. I'm gonna get on. If I would go by a different religion than Christianity, I would go by the religion. Who that man that said, "Love is my religion"? About Marley. That's what my religion would be. It would be love. And when love is the faith practice, when love is the way that you live, it is the thing that determines how you speak, how you engage, how you teach, how you preach. I think we have to shift the way that we do certain things. I think if love is our religion and we're gonna wear that as our religion, we have to make some shifts. But ain't Christianity supposed to be a faith founded in unconditional love? Oh my God, we got that verruckt to the high heavens. I think the Christian church has taken over the Christian belief system and practice and just imputed upon it and imposed upon it a whole lot of things that just don't line up with Jesus. I think Jesus is just the mascot that is used by the Christian church, their product that they're pushing, and it's the consciousness of Jesus Christ, the idea called Jesus Christ, the code of conduct called Jesus Christ. They ain't doing that one. They ain't doing that one. All right. I love you all. I'm at my appointment now. Bye.
Okay, what do you think about that, you guys? Let us know.
Yeah, speak to us if you can.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good video. It said a lot. He said a lot.
And that's what he's talking about there. Some of the same things we had to go through over a period of years. When I found out the truth behind the eternal essence that we all are, I found out, and you've heard me talk about it for years, and some just recently coming online with us, that all of us belong to God.
Yeah.
Whether we believe that Jesus is or Jesus is not our Savior, when you go to the full implementation of the actual state or the actual beingness of the essence of an eternal being, whether heaven or hell, our true existence is Him.
Yes. Now, and I want to say this as well, that I've called you a climate changer.
Mm-hmm.
And those who are like Carlton Pearson and others are climate changers. He called them cultural reformers. There are ministers, pastors, and ministers who have awakened. It is not all of those that awaken are not called to leave the church, are not called to forsake Christianity in the sense that we will never talk to people who are Christians. We will not identify ourselves with people who are Christians. There are those who are cultural reformers. In other words, we're here because the church needs to be reformed.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to it needs to wake up. It is so centuries behind in its evolution.
I find myself searching and investigating into the people or our sisters and brothers who don't agree with the mainstream, mainline religious brick and mortar.
Yeah.
I like to contact them and talk to them because they have some things that they can say about where they came, how they got to where they are in the area of the book, The Course in Miracles. I've been searching for some of our brown-skinned Black people that
there are not a lot of Blacks.
If it is, I haven't heard of them, but I'd like to know because
there are a few. But
from the cultural standpoint, even though that culture and conditioned self is not the real self, we'd like to hear how they came through that, yes, how they broke that wall down to become no judgment.
Because if I go back to the conditioned self that we believed ourselves to be, this Black body and all of these other Black bodies need to have the awakening experience.
Right, right.
And it's not only gonna come through Black ministers or others, leaders, but it more than likely they have to see someone that is just like them.
There was a lady in my life that took me when I was a little boy into her home with my uncle and my mother's great uncle. And she raised me. And when I got ready to get married to this lady sitting beside me, the wife, I picked her up and took her with me to the wedding procession. And she came and I didn't get a chance to pick my mother, but she was my mother because she raised me.
Yes.
And I just thought, I wished I had, during the time I was standing in front of the bishop during the time of the procedure. There was a place that I didn't know when I was young. We was in our 20s, 23, 24.
Not that old.
Not 22, really.
Yeah, we just barely.
And I should have honored her to come up and let them know that this is the lady that caused me to get to where I am with my wife, to meet her. But I didn't think about it, because at the time I was young. I didn't think
Yeah,
about the
when you're
army
young, you
people.
don't think of those things.
Yeah, but this lady took me. I remember when I was. What the point is? At that moment, at our wedding, she was getting ready to cross over.
Not long after
Not
that.
long after that, and
Mhm.
she was a real
Mhm.
sporty dressed lady for her time, and she was there, and I took pictures of her with a friend out in the parking lot in the yard.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, I just I look back on a positive state of all the people that I should have honored while they were
Alive. Yeah.
alive, and I
Mhm,
didn't.
mhm.
I don't
And
get.
we didn't see their importance or
Mhm,
how impactful they were
mhm,
to us
yeah.
until we got in our senior years and realized, looking back, what they imparted.
I was a little boy going to a country church, and there was a lady in the country church named Lindsay Glenn. I used to sit on the end of the wooden bench and look at her. The old church way in the country where we used to go a lot.
Mhm.
And I was just a little boy. Never thought that this lady was a model of me. Uh, a model of me one day was going to be in that same church. And I watched it. And that lady preached. Lord have mercy. She
I think
preached.
she put the spark of wanting to be a minister
But
in you, didn't she?
but I never thought it. I'm sitting there looking at her, that little boy. I didn't understand what she's doing, but she's talking about God. And when I got to preaching good, what I did was went back to the church and preached and told that congregation how she
Mhm.
was a model of my life.
Which means she, at that point, was also a climate changer,
Right.
a cultural reformer. She was that. And I think there are many of us, many of you guys as well that are listening, are the same. You may not have a congregation.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have a pulpit, but
Mhm.
your words to anybody that you interact with makes you that. That's
Mhm.
what you have. You are that. And so every last one of us is important. One person is
Mhm.
important. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be, it doesn't take a lot of us to do this.
Mariah Curry and her husband's name was Nick.
Her first husband, I think not her previous husband.
Yeah,
Was
previous
Nick
husband.
Cannon.
Nick
Yes.
Cannon.
Yes,
Nick
Cannon.
Cannon was in the hospital, and they showed a picture of her laying beside him in the hospital bed, and he made a statement, even though they're not together now, that if it had been for Mariah Curry, he would not be alive.
Yeah.
If it had not been for this lady here, I met this lady when she was a little girl. We both lived in the same neighborhood. She don't remember me seeing her, but I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And who would have thought at the age of 19, 20, and 21, this lady come across the field where my uncle had a goat that used to chase her and her brother when they come to the neighborhood store. God, how God anointed Jesus. How God did do these things. For me to even meet you guys here online today,
Yeah.
I often pick up my directory and my old numbers of people that I used to talk to when I started out, and I'll call these people. And who knows, I may end up calling you guys. I don't have your number. I got a way of finding out where you're at now. I can smell you out. Hey, they always tell you a coon dog. You got to have a good coon dog to hunt for a coon. And a good coon dog will chase a coon up the tree. But if he ain't right, that coon will whoop his back end off. But they always say, will your dog hunt? And I'll say, well, yeah, I got the smell of the rabbit in my nose. And if I want to talk to you, I can get you now. You ain't so far deep that I can't. Yeah. But I want to say this, that I like to give presence and respect to those of you who have helped us cross over the River Jordan. Now I know Red Fox crossed the Red Sea. Yeah, Red Fox and all them comedy boys, they over there, they was back there with Moses and me and you, and they was right there. But God still was alive during that time, and he ain't changed when it comes down to compassion and unconditional love.
Well, Larry Reed said something very crucial. And I wanted to show these comments. First of all, Pastor Linda Langdon liked the video. Thank you, Linda, for
Thank you for
responding about that. And Pastor Norman says most pioneers' work is not recognized until they are no longer physically here with us. Yeah, that's true. That is so true. Yeah. So it's important what he said, that this Christianity is supposed to be the religion of love.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it has not portrayed that.
I didn't get this part in. When my aunt, who raised me, was on her deathbed, I went to the house, and I was young and still and didn't know how to express unconditional love. She was in the bed. She had cancer of the throat. Her larynx would eat her throat. She was sitting there, laying in the bed, and I walked up to her, and I said, "Have you talked to the Lord about your soul?" She said, I thought that was the end of it. But
that was your understanding of how she could connect with God at the time.
But she said, and it wasn't long after that, which I didn't know, my uncle knew where I lived. He found out where I lived, and he come to me and said, she's gone. I was the one that had to take him through all the preliminaries to get her prepared to cross over and the funeral and all that. But my point is this. I found out later that she is with Jesus. She is with God based on the mystical side of what we're talking about from the Course in Miracles. There are a lot of people that are cut the Course in Miracles to the shreds. But these pathways that have been left of the sawdust trail of literature, I saw the manuscripts of these books that people banned on earth. I saw the manuscripts and the ghost writer instruments in the archives of God on the bookshelf, where the searching angel for each one of us go up and down the stairs when we are talking about somebody and pull their book with their name on it off the shelf and be open it up and be running their finger down the line of the conversation that we're having here. And there's a place in there where the conversation is actually at the present moment that his finger's on. I'm telling you the truth, this stuff is fine. Now, I'm going to quit because I'll get to popping in a minute, but this stuff is so potent.
But, as it is, it really, really is.
Take it in and to blow up in your face.
So we wanted to present that to you because this was close to home. It was close to home. His transitioning is very close to home because he has been a voice that has helped many to not just change or make the shift, but he's helped many to become stabilized in their knowing.
I had a chance to give my mother, who lived upstairs, that did not raise me, but still my mama. Now, God knows that that's the lady that I came through to get here, so we called her mama. He didn't abandon her because she didn't live the way we thought she ought to live in that apartment and according to church, but she's still there. So in the rest home, I had a chance to give her the rite of passage. I said, Mama, she was in that breathing moment like sleep apnea. She took a deep breath. We thought she was going in, but she come back.
Long pauses.
Long pause. I say, Mama, your mother, and your father and Jesus coming to get you. That's the only way you could talk to her.
That's when she understood.
Yeah, she was. Many times we took her to the emergency room, and I'd be talking to the nurses and the doctors about the other side and how they got their training, and she would be listening. And when they go out, I could see. I look over there at her, and I could see her. She was wondering about what I was saying to her. Now, let me tell you something. I stood there and watched the breath of her come out of her body. And I looked at the three people standing around the room. They called us, and I saw her. When she come out, she was still the real self.
Yeah.
In spite of the suffering of that body. Miss Leslie,
she left the body behind.
Yeah, Miss Leslie, your daddy heard from Jesus personally that he was going to walk. He don't quite understand all of it. He might. But this is what I got to say to you, and you heard me say it. He will walk, whether in the body or out of the body.
He'll walk away from the
He'll
body.
walk away from it. Every one of you out there now, because you done found out the truth of your identity in the eternal essence, you have already walked away from your body.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have joined with you.
Yes.
For this
Yes.
cause,
Yes.
the expression of the eternal self, for this cause, we say this tonight.
Mhm.
You are
Yes.
free right now, not because I said it, because of the purpose of God in your essence, eternal self. Way before you ever heard my mouth flap. You could have crossed over a long time ago when somebody else was flapping, but you're still eternal.
There is a simultaneous working
Glory be to God. I
That's-
feel this.
that's
tonight.
happening.
Mm.
There is a construction, and then there is a deconstruction at the same time. There is a construction of the house. I almost want to say wheelhouse.
Mhm,
There is
mhm,
a
mhm.
construction of a stronghold. A stronghold
Mhm,
is like the forts that
Mhm.
they had back in the cowboy days when they
Mhm,
had to build those forts to keep the Indians and all of the other
mhm,
people out.
mhm,
That's a stronghold.
mhm, mhm.
Many of us, we're now built, that stronghold is being built around the truth of who you know you are at this point. What you know you are at this point. There is a fortress being constructed. And at the same time, there is a deconstruction of everything that you believed yourself to be up to this point.
Mhm.
That's been deconstructed. You said it this morning. I was in bed just about, had just awakened, and he came back upstairs to get ready to take the dog for a walk. And he leaned on the bed like this. He leaned on the bed and he said, "These minds are crazy.
They
They
crazy.
are insane.
Yeah, that's it. They crazy
Humanity
as
is
hell.
insane.
It's the crazy hell mind.
And humanity is insane."
And the reason why I said that to her, I was listening to the teaching on the course of our true identity and transitioning here before we leave our bodies, that
Yeah.
this world is nothing but a dream, but yet it is a real dream, but it is a dream. I heard some things that my mind got messed up in my sleep.
He said, and you said, your mind said to you, "I don't want to hear no more of this stuff."
That's what it said. It said, I don't want to hear no more stuff. You believe all that stuff. You gonna tell me that your back is all out of whack and it ain't real, but it is, you still feel it. I said, yes, but it's still that. But I said, yes.
That's the deconstruction.
Crazy thing.
That is the deconstruction taking place.
I want to talk a little more about that, but I'm not gonna get on that. Right? That's just too. I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't even. My mind did even.
Our mind is crazy.
Ooh, and the ego being a dream, it ain't even real.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
But what's real?
And all the mind wants is to know how I can make myself better or how I can make my life better. That's all the mind wants.
Oh, I rejoice at this very moment for the misunderstanding of bringing to the forefront of an understanding of the maturity of seeing the game that's been played with us in the mind, and that lying, cheating, Zoom ego. I understand the course, but I don't understand when it gets so crazy, and that ain't real either. Understanding and misunderstanding ain't real. So that's what I found out.
You don't understand
what's true and what's a lie. It's
people
still
idolize it, or when they
Yes.
idolize the Bible.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
insanity. It's insanity.
And
These are tools that have been left for us to help us to wake up. They're clues to help us to continue in our discovery. But they're not to be idolized.
I heard Eckhart Tolle said the whole thing about the Course in Miracles is at the end of it tells you to shut your mouth.
Exactly. And forget the course. There's an actual lesson that says forget the course.
Forget the course.
Yeah.
I started, I'm gonna say to old Sylvie said it's a little bit crazy. He said, I started 40, fumbling, failed, thought I had it, but I let it get away.
That's what you feel like
Yeah,
at the end of
yeah,
life.
yeah,
And when you reach your senior years, you
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Here we
Started,
are.
farted,
I'm
fumble.
going on 75, and I hear people say, "How old are you?" I say, "I'm going on 76." They say, "Well, I'm 60." I say, "Well, you still a jitterbug.
Exactly.
You're still a spring chicken." But at the same time,
Exactly.
there's a part of the mind that's still trying to capture when it was 22, 23, and used to be and used to do. The old boy said, if you ain't gonna do nothing around here, if you ain't gonna do nothing, don't do it around here. But the mind carries on that crazy conversation at night. Hear your eyeballs in the morning. You get up and it's bloodshot, like somebody hit them with a hammer and cracked them. And you stand over in the corner, your mind in the corner, and you in the bed trying to get. Would you tell that ugly thing to shut up so I can rest this body? I got some things to do in my sleep on the other side, and the mind trying to keep me from attending my business.
And even if you don't sleep, it will not stop what you have to do. And I like what Pastor Norman, he's reminding us of the scripture in Jeremiah 1 and 10, chapter 1 and verse 10, where it says, that is the words that the prophet Jeremiah received, that he will root out, pull down, destroy, and throw down, then to build and to plant.
All right.
Yeah. So there's a constructing going on at the same time. Simultaneously, there's a deconstructing of yourself.
I heard a preacher say, those of us who accepted Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior and confess it, we are going home. And he said, everything that was created in the earth, he said, just because a dog is a dog and a cat is a cat and a snake is a snake, it don't mean that they are honored by God
or belong to
God. I reached over and cut the television off, changed the station. I should have done that.
Yes, you should.
That's the same way they do us when we come on. They cut us off. I didn't want to go out.
But you knew where he was going.
Yeah, I knew that fart buster. I knew where he was going.
Wasn't really there. What you were saying is something that already happened.
And he couldn't hear me. He didn't know my button was switching.
No, he didn't hear it.
But you know what? I found out. I saw one of the most gracious things on that day. A beautiful wedding. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
That lady come down the aisle. That was the most pretty. I love weddings. I love them. I just love them. And I got one to do.
How do you love weddings? Because you don't like them when we put all of that bells and whistles in it. You want it just as simple as you could ever be. But then you like it when it's like that.
I still like it. I don't care what you say. And it's just like that. And I got one to do on Sunday after we finish our class.
Yeah, we did.
Over in a certain city in the Carolinas.
Robert and Denise, yes.
I may have to sit on a stool, on a chair to do it, but I promised him that I would do it with great honor and respect. For him to ask me to do it over many years, I've known him. I'm gonna give the grace. I'm gonna grace him and Denise and Robert, and I'm gonna give them the presence of God in this area of my life. But today we'll hear with you again, and we're looking at these things. We are the continuous blessings of everlasting blessing that never stop.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
We are the continuous, never stopping blessings of God.
You know, Pastor,
feeling good or feeling bad.
Yeah, I wanted to say that you may not feel like you're important to this world, but you are very, very important. And there are people that you will interact with and touch before you transition from this world that you're supposed to be able to touch. And so there's not one of us that will reach all of us.
Yeah.
That isn't going to happen. But there is the voice that is heard in each of us by some. Someone hears the voice that comes through you. You are the voice walking. You're the voice
cool of the garden. That's right.
You're that voice walking.
When I found out that God came here to appear to be separation. To forgive himself in our form, believing that he is separated. He came back to himself through us.
Yes, he
Hallelujah. Glory be to
did.
God.
He did.
Killer Rock record trainer, therapy, sign catch rheumatism.
The Linda says this. She says, I've noticed that there is a me that notices the part that's not of me.
Hey, you know what, girl? I want to tell the boss man to give you a raise. You know that I'm gonna get you some. I'm gonna get you about 4 or 5 stack of pancakes.
Yes.
Yeah, good old,
yes.
good
And
old molasses on it.
The good thing is you noticed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you did. Girl, if I was staying over there right here next to you, I'd give you a hug around your neck and squeeze all the butter out you.
Do you realize how many people haven't even got to the point of noticing?
Oh, that's the truth.
They just think that me is the only me there is.
I found out that prayer is self-talk.
Yeah, it is.
He that has seen me have seen the Father. And then Jesus said, "Oh, Father, that they might be one and recognize it and know it." Oh, Lord. I said, well, who is he talking to? Lord. Who are you talking to? Lord. Have a little talk with Jesus. Tell your trouble all about Jesus. Don't tell your trouble that
Don't tell Jesus about the trouble.
Yeah, well, what you want to talk about? Glory be to God. This stuff is something. Jesus said he and the Father are one.
Yes.
If he's one with them, what do you think you are? You're one and the same.
The language of one, the language of union, the language of unity, the language of non-separation, non-judgment. The language is very, very, I would say it's almost protected by the Spirit of God, because if one is silenced, there will be another one that'll come right behind him. And as Larry Reed said, an echo that person, that voice. So what I pray that this was good for you tonight, and that you received our hearts in what we said tonight. I wanted to remind you guys of Pastor's birthday that's coming up. It will be on the 22nd, but we're going to celebrate it on Saturday the 18th, and that'll be at 11 a.m. In the morning. That's like a brunch between 11 and 1 at Stephanie's Restaurant in Greensboro, North Carolina. For those of you who don't know, that's 2507 Randleman Road in Greensboro. Prayerfully, you'll be able to be with us. I'm hoping to see you there, and I wish all of you guys that watch us could be there. And I appreciate all of you who have been sending funds, and
yeah, we do.
Thank you, Jill. I don't think Jill's on here tonight, but thank you, Jill, for sending us what you sent today. I was able to give Pastor some pocket change.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for that. And those of you who've been supporting us over the years, thank you so much. And I think that's about it for us tonight. Do you think, Pastor?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Unless you guys have a something else you would like to discuss, or a question or whatever, I think we're going to leave it at that, and we'll see you again on Thursday at 12:30 with Pastor Norman on Impromptu.
You may not be here, ain't you said?
Yeah, we'll be.
Yeah, okay.
Your appointment is not till 3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
I'm getting ready to talk to the doctor about my back and
we want you to be be in prayer with us, not for us, but with us.
With us,
to consider what he should do next for his back. He's done everything that he knew to do to get relief, and none of it has worked. So we're left with another option now, the only option which could fix the problem. And we're seriously considering it. Yeah. Just be in prayer with us that the decision will be made that will be beneficial to Pastor. Okay. Because it's getting harder for him to function. So thank you guys for remembering him in prayer. And we know that God can do a miracle. And we're always saying your presence is the very gift of God online, and whatever you can send us, or if it's just a note
of love and concern, it would be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for all the Christmas gifts.
Mhm.
This Christmas 25th, things working right. That picture you saw, man, with that long beard, I'm hoping I can get it back out there that long for 25th. But I'll be doing a Santa Claus thing with a lot of children. I'm hoping
You
that
will
Christmas.
be?
Yeah, Tiffany's already told me about that.
Oh, that means I gotta act like Mrs. Claus. I
Yeah.
gotta find something to put on to look like Mrs. Claus. I may have to get me a wig.
You will. You'll
I
be
have to get me a
fine.
wig.
That's what they planned. I hadn't done it in a while, but I look forward to it. Hoping I can take some of my toys with me and let the children see them for Christmas.
Well, you can't lift them.
Oh,
Do
that's
know
right.
that.
If I have the surgery, I won't be
Yeah,
able to lift them.
even if you have the surgery, you may not be at
Yeah.
a point of doing that. So we'll see. But we thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It was so great.
We
It's
love you
great.
with the love of Christ, the real self.
And the next time we see you, make sure you ask a question, give us your comments, let us know you're here and where you're looking at us from. And John, thank you so much. He says you're always in our prayers.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, John. All the rest of you. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. You always in ours too. When we think of you, that's the prayer going up right then.
That's it.
That's the prayer.
Oh, that's good.
Not
Right
going
there.
up, but just going
Yeah, being heard
to the
seen,
source, to
and
the
aware of.
source.
Okay.
Thank you, Sister
See you later.
Pearl.
Sister Pearl, keep your nose clean, your britches on. We'll see you later. Don't
Bye,
take no
guys.
wooden nickels now.